evening. Welcome to World News. I am Wisdom Onisi. First, the headlines. Nigerian police agreed to investigate killing of protesters by security agents. Namibia's ruling party takes lead in election results. China opens first commercial spaceport with successful rocket launch. And on sport, CAF rule excludes Ahmed Busal as Eguavon calls up 30 players for Ghana match. Now the news in details. 4 months after security forces, including police officers, killed and brutalized and bad governance protesters, the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Betokon, has ordered a full investigation. This follows a report by Amnesty International, which accused the police of killing, injuring, and arresting protesters during the August protest across several Nigerian states, including Borno, Jigawa, and Kaduna. The report stated that 24 people were killed, over 1,200 arrested, and numerous journalists were also targeted. In response, the IGP has directed the Commissioner of Police in the affected states to submit detailed report within a week. The investigation will focus on any violation of standards, operating procedures, and rules of engagement, aiming to hold accountable those responsible for the violence during the protest. Away from that, the Minister of Works has directed FEMA to submit a list of the 14 contractors within 1 week to take appropriate action. He also emphasized the need for a strong technical committee to monitor projects across the country, ensuring timely and quality delivery. The minister stressed the importance of confronting challenges directly, noting the country's commitment to overcoming them with the leadership of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The minister also vowed to conduct surprise site visits to assess contractors' performance and reassured FEMA staff that their welfare would be prioritized. According to the agency's challenges, he emphasized that these obstacles are surmountable and committed to addressing issues raised during his tour to improve operations. Let's also have you know that the House of Representatives has called on the federal government to probe the incessant boat accident across the country, leading to a loss of lives and property. This was a sequel to the adoption of a motion of urgent public importance on Tuesday titled Need to Investigate the Incessant Boat Mishap in Nigeria Waterways, sponsored by the member representing Ukanafu, Oruk, Anam, Federal Constituency, Akwa Ibom State, Unyime Idem. He said Nigeria has witnessed a disturbing surge in boat mishap in recent times, resulting in the tragic loss of numerous lives. The most recent incident, which occurred on Friday, November 29, 2024, was the devastating Kogi boat mishap, which took place along the Dambo-Ebuchi waterways of River Niger in Kupa local government area. Away from that, the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, ICPC, says 70% of Nigeria who were approached for a bribe in 2023 refused to comply. Chairman of the commission, Musa Aliyu, made this revelation in a statement on Monday during the ICPC roundtable with state attorney generals in the Northwest region, held in Kano. The event focused on enhancing the Commission's capacity for corruption prevention. The ICPC board stressed the shared responsibility of state and federal government in combating corruption, stressing the importance of collaboration to build accountable and transparent systems. Aliyu urged citizens in the Northwest to resist bribery demands, reiterating ICPC's commitment to using its authority to combat corruption effectively. Now, when we return, news from other parts of Africa. Please stay with us.
This is Hillstv. Quality broadcasting is what we'll bring to you. Now we be the soul.
Welcome back. Now news from other parts of Africa. Namibia's ruling SWAPO party led both the presidential and parliamentary races on Tuesday, a week after voting took place in an election marred by technical challenges. SWAPO, which has governed the Southern African nation since leading it to independence from apartheid South Africa in 1990, fielded Vice President Netumbo Nandi-Ndaitwah as its presidential candidate. If victorious, she would become Namibia's first female leader. Results were initially expected a few days after the November 27 poll, but voting was extended to November 29th and November 30th at several polling stations after some voters were unable to cast their ballots on election day due to technical difficulties and ballot paper shortages. The Electoral Commission election portal showed Nandi-Ndaitwah was leading the presidential race with 54.82% of the vote after 65.57% of vote had been counted. Now we move to other parts of the world after this break. Please stay with us. Welcome back. Now news from other parts of the world. Fatah and Hamas are nearing an agreement to establish a committee of politically independent technocrats to govern Gaza after the war, potentially ending Hamas' rule and aiding ceasefire talks with Israel. The committee, composed of 12 to 15 members, mostly from Gaza, will report to the Palestinian Authority and work with local and international groups on humanitarian efforts and reconstruction. Negotiations have been ongoing in Cairo, and while key terms are agreed, final details, including committee members, are still being discussed. The committee will take over post-ceasefire governance, fulfilling Israel's goal of ending Hamas control. The Palestinian Authority, which recognizes Israel, will oversee the process, but challenges remain regarding its legitimacy and overall path to peace. We also have you know that Donald Trump will attend the reopening of Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris, marking his first foreign trip since the 2020 election. The event, scheduled to later this month, will celebrate the completion of extensive renovations of the iconic landmark, which was severely damaged by a fire in 2019. Trump's visit is seen as a significant diplomatic gesture as it coincides with the growing interest in rebuilding global ties. Details about the activities in France are limited, but his presence at the reopening underscores the importance of U.S.-France relations, particularly in the context of shared cultural and historical ties. Also have you know that China has officially opened its first commercial spaceport on the southern island of Hainan, aiming to boost the country's space industry. This spaceport is designed to handle up to 32 rocket launches annually from various domestic companies. The inaugural launch took place on Saturday, utilizing the newly developed Long March 12 mid-size rocket created by China Aerospace Science and Technology Corps. The launch successfully deployed test satellites, marking a significant step in China's growing space capabilities. Up next is business. Please stay with us.
This is Hillstv. Quality broadcasting is what we'll bring to you. Now we be this
Welcome back now to business news. Nigerians' recent Eurobond issuance has been a success, with the offer oversubscribed at 9.1 billion, US dollars, signaling investors' confidence in the country's economy after a 2-year hiatus from the international bond market. The government raised 2.2 billion US dollars, issuing 2 tranches. A 700 million US dollars bond maturing in 2031 at a coupon rate of 9.625% and 1.5 billion US dollars maturing in 2034 at 10.375%. The funds will primarily finance Nigeria's 2024 fiscal deficit, addressing ongoing revenue shortfalls and rising public spending. Despite concern over high yields, the bonds attracted significant demand from investors worldwide, including the UK, North America, Europe, Asia, and the Middle East. Still on business news, President Joe Biden's visit to Angola marks the first time a U.S. president has visited the country, aiming to strengthen ties and promote U.S. investment. A key highlight is the $3 billion US dollars commitment to the Lobito Corridor, a major railway redevelopment project that links Angola, Zambia, and Congo, designed to facilitate the movement of raw materials across Africa. The project is part of the U.S. effort to increase its presence in the region, which holds critical minerals for clean energy technology, and to counter China's influence in African mining. Still on business news, we'll also let you know that in retaliation for new U.S. Semiconductor restrictions, China has announced a ban on export of several dual-use items essential for semiconductors production and military application. These include materials like gallium, germanium, and antimony, as well as stricter control on graphite-related goods. These items are critical for both semiconductor manufacturing and military uses, such as ammunition. The U.S. imposed new sanctions targeting China's semiconductor industry on Monday, including tighter control on equipment and ships, and added 136 Chinese entities to its export control list. In response, China criticized the U.S. for overextending national security measures, accusing Washington of economic coercion and disrupting global trade. China has vowed to take firm actions to protect its businesses and uphold international trade principles. Still to come is sport. Please stay with us. Glad to have you back now to Sport News. Super Eagles captain Ahmed Musa has been excluded from coach Austin Eguavo's 30-man squad for the upcoming 2025 African Nations Championship qualifier against Ghana. Musa, who recently returned to Nigeria to play for Kano Pillars, was left out due to a CAF regulation stating that only players with permanent contracts at clubs affiliated with their national associated are eligible for the competition. Despite Musa's experience, which many hoped would bolster Nigerians' chances, his absence opens the door for other key players, including his Kano Pillars teammate Rabiu Ali and exciting talents like Sunday Megwo of Abia Warriors. The Super Eagles beat team aims to secure a spot in the 2025 CHAN finals, which will be co-hosted by Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. Still on sport news, where we have that the WBC has sanctioned a fight between Zalil Ziang and Ajit Kabayel for the interim heavyweight title, with Anthony Joshua set to face the winner for the belt. This decision comes as Alexander Usyk and Tyson Fury are scheduled to rematch for the full WBC, WBA, and WBO titles on December 21st. Zhang, a former WBO interim champion, recently defeated Deontay Wilder, while Kabayel remains unbeaten, having won his last two bouts against Frank Sanchez and Alexander Mahmoudov. The interim title provides the winner of Zhang Kabayel a potential future opportunity for a full WBC heavyweight championship fight. Anthony Joshua, ranked number 6 by the WBC, is also in line for a shot at the interim title, offering him a path back to world title contention following his loss to Daniel Dubois in September. WBC President Mauricio Suleiman confirmed that the sanctioning body is committed to keeping the heavyweight division active and ensuring the best possible match-ups. Still on sport news, Real Madrid has made contact with Manchester United over Diego Dalot, with the Premier League club demanding €41.5 million for the 25-year-old fullback, although they remain focused on signing Liverpool's Trent Alexander-Arnold. Mohamed Salah, 32 years, is willing to accept one-year deal at Liverpool despite frustrations with ongoing contract negotiations. While PSG has not initiated talks with him, Manchester United is working to extend Ahmed Dalot's contract and is also in discussion to sign striker Victor Gyökeres from Sporting, with Manchester City also showing interest in Swedish forward. And that's your sport news on World News. We move to the rest of the news after this break. Please stay with us.
This is Hillstv. Quality broadcasting is what we'll bring to you. Now we be this
Hillstv, Polka.
Welcome back. Now the rest of the news. Bill Gates recently sparked controversy with comments made on a podcast where he referred to India as a kind of laboratory to try things. While discussing global health, education, and climate change, Gates praised India for its progress in areas like health and nutrition, but suggested that successful initiatives in the country could be scaled to other regions. He emphasized that India is home to the largest number of pilot projects for his foundation, underscoring its importance in testing solutions. The remarks quickly drew backlash, with many criticizing Gates for viewing India as a testing ground for his ideas. Some social media users expressed outrage, accusing him of treating India's population as guinea pigs. However, others defended Gates, pointing out that his philanthropic efforts, particularly in addressing malnutrition, have been beneficial. And that's World News. But before we go, here are the headlines once again. We brought to you that Nigerian police agreed to investigate killing of protesters by security agents. We also informed